Hey there. So you're thinking about becoming a sign language teacher.
Oh, wow.
How cool is that? We're about to take a deep dive into this rewarding career path
Okay.
using some insider info from RoleCatcher,
Right.
a platform designed to help people, well, catch their dream roles,
I like it.
knowing your penchant for efficiency and aha moments. Let's unlock the world of sign language teaching together and get you up to speed quickly.
You know, it's interesting. When people hear sign language, they often picture teaching deaf or hard of hearing individuals. Well, that's a
Yeah.
huge part of it. Sign language teaching is actually much broader.
Right. It's like learning to bake.
Yeah.
You might start with cookies, but soon you're whipping up cakes, pastries,
Yeah,
maybe even sourdough bread from scratch.
exactly.
Our RoleCatcher Intel tells us that sign language teachers work with learners of all ages and backgrounds.
Right.
It's not just about teaching a language, it's about bridging a communication gap in all sorts of unexpected places.
Absolutely. And that diversity extends to the work environment as well. Yeah, you could find yourself in traditional classrooms, bustling community centers, or even leading online workshops from, say, a beach in Bali.
Oh, wow.
Knowing your preference for flexibility, that last one might pique your interest.
Now that's what I call breaking down barriers,
Right.
geographically and otherwise.
Exactly.
But let's get real for a second. Every job has its challenges.
Oh, yeah.
What about the not-so-glamorous side of being a sign language teacher?
You're right. It's not always easy.
Yeah.
While this career gets top marks for job satisfaction, it can be emotionally demanding.
Really?
Imagine prepping for a 7 a.m. workshop for corporate executives,
Oh my gosh.
then heading straight to an evening class at a community center.
Wow.
The hours can be a bit atypical,
Okay.
and you're constantly adapting to different learning styles and needs.
And I imagine there's a lot of emotional weight that comes with that.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not just teaching vocabulary, you're opening up a whole new world of communication and connection.
Exactly. You're helping people express themselves, connect with loved ones, and navigate a world that isn't always designed with their communication needs in mind.
Right.
That sense of responsibility, while incredibly rewarding, can sometimes lead to burnout if you're not careful.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
It makes sense that self-care and setting boundaries would be crucial in this field.
absolutely.
Okay.
And speaking of crucial, we can't forget about the importance of ongoing learning.
Oh,
The
right.
field is constantly evolving,
Yeah,
with new research and teaching methods emerging all the time.
that's actually exciting. You know me, always up for a good challenge and expanding my horizons.
Of course.
Speaking of expanding, I was surprised to see that RoleCatcher predicts a 4% growth rate for sign language teaching jobs over the next decade.
Wow.
That's pretty significant, isn't it?
It is. And that growth is directly tied to a larger societal shift.
Okay.
There's an increasing demand for inclusive education, and sign language is at the forefront of that movement. It's not some niche field tucked away anymore. It's becoming more and more integral to how we educate and communicate.
So we're not just talking about job security here, but also about being part of something bigger, something truly meaningful. It's like you're not just teaching, you're building bridges of understanding.
It really is.
And speaking of building, let's talk qualifications.
Okay.
What does it actually take to become a sign language teacher?
It's more than just knowing sign language.
Right.
That's for sure.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Fluency is like having all the ingredients,
Right.
but a solid educational foundation gives you the recipe to create something truly impactful.
Okay, so it sounds like we're moving beyond just knowing the language itself to understanding the how and why of teaching it.
Right.
What kind of education are we talking about here?
RoleCatcher highlights a variety of relevant degrees.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like what?
Of course, there's deaf studies,
Right.
but then you've also got linguistics,
Mm-hmm.
psychology, even education and special education. Wow.
It really speaks to the multifaceted nature of this career.
Yeah.
Right up your alley with your love of learning new things.
It's like you get to combine your passions and interests into this incredible career cocktail.
Right.
But let's be honest,
Yeah.
degrees are only one piece of the puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
What about the actual skills you need to thrive as a sign language teacher?
You're spot on. It's about understanding
Yeah.
not just the language itself, but the people who use it, the learning process,
Right.
the cultural context.
Wow.
It's fascinating, really.
Yeah.
You need those core teaching skills.
Like what?
Active listening. And not just for the students.
Wait, hold up. Active listening for teachers.
Yeah.
I thought that was just for us eager students.
Think about it. You're constantly observing your students,
Right.
interpreting their needs, and adjusting your teaching on the fly.
So true.
Are they picking up the signs quickly?
Yeah.
Are they struggling with a particular concept? It's about reading between the lines,
Right.
both literally and figuratively.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah,
It's like being a detective, but instead of solving crimes, you're unlocking communication potential.
precisely. And beyond those core skills,
Yeah?
you need a knack for explaining things clearly and creatively,
Right.
tailoring your approach to different learning styles.
Hmm.
Those are skills that are valuable in any field, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it sounds like patience is probably a must-have, too.
You could say that again.
Right.
Now, RoleCatcher also mentions certifications,
Oh, okay.
particularly from the American Sign Language Teacher Association, or ASLTA. It's
Yeah.
like the gold standard for sign language teachers.
Okay, tell me more about this ASLTA certification.
Okay.
What makes it so special?
Well, it's a nationally recognized credential
Okay.
that demonstrates your knowledge and skills to potential employers.
Mhm.
It involves a rigorous testing process
Wow.
that evaluates your fluency in ASL, your understanding of deaf culture and history. Okay.
And your teaching methodologies.
So it's not just about knowing the signs, it's about understanding the context, the culture, the whole shebang.
Yeah,
It sounds incredibly thorough.
it is.
Wow.
Earning your ASLTA certification is a significant achievement in the field
Yeah.
and can open doors to new opportunities.
It's like leveling up in a video game. You've proven your skills and unlocked new areas to explore.
Right.
But even with the right education and certifications,
Mhm.
I imagine real-world experience is key in a hands-on feel like sign language teaching.
You're absolutely right. RoleCatcher really emphasizes the importance of immersing yourself in the deaf community.
Oh, okay.
Volunteering, joining sign language clubs,
Mhm.
attending deaf events.
Yeah.
It's all about going beyond the textbooks
Right.
and experiencing the language and culture firsthand.
That makes perfect sense. You
Yeah.
can't learn everything from a book,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to something as nuanced and vibrant as sign language and deaf culture. Exactly. It's one thing to learn signs from a textbook.
Mhm.
It's another to experience the rhythm, the facial expressions,
Mm.
the cultural nuances that bring the language to life.
Yeah.
And that experience becomes even more critical when you think about career advancement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What does career progression look like in this field? It's not just about climbing a ladder, is it?
You're right. It's not always a straight climb.
Right.
It's more like branching out,
Okay.
exploring different paths based on your interests and strengths.
Oh, okay. I like the
Uh,
sound of that.
Yeah,
So instead of climbing a ladder, we're talking about exploring a garden of possibilities.
exactly.
What do some of these paths look like?
Let's say you discover a passion for working with young children.
Yeah.
You could specialize in early childhood education and teach sign language to deaf and hard of hearing kids.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
perhaps you're drawn to the fast-paced world of business.
Okay.
Imagine leading workshops for corporate executives, breaking down communication barriers in the workplace.
Wow. I love how this career allows for such niche specialization.
Yeah,
It's like you can tailor it to your passions and make it your own.
absolutely. And there are avenues beyond direct teaching as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like it-
Remember how we talked about ongoing learning?
Yeah.
You could even transition into research,
Wow.
exploring new frontiers in sign language acquisition or teaching methodologies.
That's amazing. So you could go from the classroom
Hmm.
to the cutting edge of research,
Mhm.
contributing to the field in a whole new way.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Or you could step into leadership roles,
Okay.
developing curriculum,
Hmm.
managing programs, advocating for deaf education and accessibility.
Wow.
As the demand for sign language teachers grows,
Right.
so too will the need for experienced professionals to guide the way.
It's like you become this mentor figure, paving the way for the next generation of sign language teachers.
Right.
Okay, so let's say someone is just starting out,
Mm.
all fired up about this career path.
Mm.
What's one piece of advice that could give them a leg up in this competitive field?
Well, aside from everything we've already discussed, I'd say dive headfirst into those resources from RoleCatcher.
Yeah.
They've got interview prep materials, networking tools,
Uh-huh.
even tips on crafting a standout resume.
Oh, wow.
They say the right tools can make all the difference.
Right.
And for you, with your go-getter attitude,
Yeah.
RoleCatcher sounds like a goldmine.
It's like having a career coach in your pocket, guiding you every step of the way.
Exactly.
So we've talked education, skills, certifications, experience,
Mm-hmm.
but there's one more thing that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
Something that truly elevates a sign language teacher from good to great?
You're reading my mind. Yes, fluency in sign language is crucial.
Right.
But what truly makes a difference is a deep understanding and appreciation for deaf culture and history.
Oh, okay.
It's about seeing sign language not just as a tool for communication,
Right.
but as a gateway to a rich and vibrant community.
It's like the difference between just visiting a country and actually immersing yourself in its culture,
Right.
its traditions, its people.
Exactly. It's about incorporating that cultural understanding into your teaching,
Okay.
appreciating the nuances, the values, the history that make deaf culture so unique.
So it's about becoming an ally, an advocate, a lifelong learner alongside your students.
Beautifully said.
Wow.
It's about recognizing the resilience, the creativity,
Yeah.
the incredible contributions of the deaf community.
You know, when I started this deep dive, I knew sign language teaching was important, but I had no idea how much heart and soul went into it.
Right.
It's so much more than just a job. It's a calling.
You got it.
For anyone listening, I hope this deep dive has sparked a fire in you,
Yeah.
ignited a passion you didn't even know you had.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're ready to take the next step,
Yes.
you know where to find us, diving deep into the knowledge that matters.
That's right.
One fascinating topic at a time.
Exactly.
Until next time, keep those learning gears turning.